What if I told you that in 2025, the federal government is going to put in place a rule for the majority of small business owners that if you do not comply, it could cost you $500 per day? Would you give me 5 minutes to let me tell you about that law or about that rule or a new regulation so you don't get stuck with these fees and these fines? Let me tell you what it's going to look like. So in today's video, not only am I going to tell you about this new regulation that you will probably have to follow and comply with, I'm going to actually walk through the application online for you as I've do ours for our business. That way you'll see exactly what to expect, you'll know how to fill out the form for you, and you'll have an understanding of what they're asking for or looking for. But if you are new here, my name is Katrina. My business partner Cheryl and I run and own Empower to Profit, where we work with small business owners just like you to help them keep more of what they earn in their business. So let's go ahead, let's hop in so I can help educate you about this BOI form, which will be mandatory in 2025. Okay, so let's start with basics. What does the BOI even stand for? It stands for Beneficial Ownership Information, meaning the government wants to know and wants you to report to them and tell them who in your business really owns and controls and makes the big decisions for your business. So if you're like most business owners, the next question when you hear that is, okay, so who needs to file this? Do I need to file this? Am I too small? Is it not required for me? In most cases, you are going to be required as a small business owner to submit this form to the government. If you are an S Corp, a C Corp, or an LLC, you are probably required to submit this form before January 1st, 2025. There is a list of exceptions, and if you are a sole prop and you've never registered with the state, then you probably don't have to. If you are a W-9 contractor and you don't have an EIN, you've never registered as an LLC or a sole prop, then you probably don't have to file. But if you have gone through the process in your state to register your business, you are more than likely required to complete this form online. So usually the next question follow-up is, okay, what do I need to gather so I can complete this form online? So the government is going to want to know who is in control of your business, who owns the business. And of those owners, you're going to have to gather your name, your address, your date of birth, some kind of ID number, so like your driver's license number or your passport number, and then they want to know who has what percentage of ownership or control of the business. So for example, for Cheryl and I, we are a 50-50 partnership. So I would claim that I own 50%, and then under Cheryl's name, she would own 50%. That's all they want to know. It's not overly complicated. This should be pretty easily attainable information. And why is this happening? Why all of a sudden is the federal government asking for all of these business owners to submit all of this information? Really what they're trying to do is push out the criminal activity. So there obviously are criminals who do financial activity that hide behind businesses. So they're doing this to try and expose some of that criminal activity. Otherwise, there are very steep penalties to pay if you do not comply. So let's talk due dates. When does this need to be done by? If you are a business that has been a business previous to 2024, you have until January 1st, 2025. Once the clock strikes 12, January 1st of the new year, you will now be late and open to fees and penalties. So you still have a couple months left. Should take you no more than 15 minutes. I would highly encourage you, we have dropped the link below, to go ahead and do it now. 99% of you are going to have the information that they require handy as of right now. So it should take you no more than 15 minutes. And what happens if you don't? Like we talked about in the beginning, they are threatening some pretty hefty fines if you do not comply. Now, there's been a little bit of buzz that they're not actually going to be fining people out of the gate, but if you enjoy your hard-earned money just like everybody else, I would highly recommend just get it done by the due date. Don't push the envelope. Don't test the government to see if they're actually going to fine people. Just get it done, move on with your life. Because the fine of $500 per day can add up very quickly. And if you forget about it and you don't know what's happening, those days are racking up $500 per day in the background. That can get into the thousands very, very quickly. Okay, so now that you're educated on what it is, how to fill it out, what happens if you don't, when the due date is, let's go ahead. We're going to switch over and I'm going to show you how easy it is to actually file this report online. And again, should take you no more than 15 minutes. Okay, so let's hop right in. What does it look like to actually do this form online? So I just went to a search engine, keyed in BOI form, and you're going to see up top here it's a .com. We don't want that one. The next few ones, .com, this is a .org. I don't want that. I'm looking for the .gov SinFin website. So you go ahead, click that, and then it's going to bring you to their main website. This is actually a pretty user-friendly website, especially for being something that the government put out. They answer a lot of questions. They have graphs and charts and all kinds of helpful tools that if you really want to get educated about what it is and what they need, this is a great source for information. I would recommend using this above anything else because it's straight from the source. So we're going to use this right here, file, and then you can either say get started or file. We are doing an online submission, so we don't have to mail anything. And then it's going to take you through the questions step by step. I'm going to do a little bit of a speed round when you're doing it. I would encourage you to read all the things, but just in respective time, I'm going to go through it a little bit quicker here. So this is going to be our initial report with today's date. And you can receive a SinFin ID that it's like a unique identifier for your business. I am not going to do that. I am just going to complete it as the business owner myself using our legal name of the business. I would recommend you checking. Sometimes with forms online and stuff, when it has to do with the government, they are super, super particular about matching your name to how you registered it. So make sure the name that you key in matches to the way that you register it. So if it's the LLC, any punctuation, any spelling, like make sure it's 100% the same. That way it just doesn't get kicked back for something for you to fix. If you do have a legal DBA, doing business as, you can go ahead and add that there. We do not, so I will leave it blank. This is where you enter either your EIN for the business or your social security number. And as you can see, as I'm rolling over things, it gives you a description to help answer what they're asking you, which is, again, pretty helpful. We use the EIN, so I will select that. So this is where you're going to fill in that ID number that you use. Let me grab ours. You do not need to use dashes when you're filling in the EIN. Otherwise, it will have you take it out. We are in the US. My state that we're registered is Florida. I don't have any tribal jurisdiction. If you do, that's where you would complete that. And then just fill in our business information in terms of address. Okay, and so this is where it's going to ask you if you are an existing reporting company. So we were in business before 2024, so I'm going to select this box. And then it's going to say, when existing reporting company is indicated, all company applicant fields will be cleared. Do you wish to continue? Yes. Why do they do it in this order? Why don't they ask me that first? Doesn't matter. We're just filling out the form, right? Playing by their rules. Okay. So again, if you have questions about what they're asking, use the drop downs. Again, we didn't use this SINFIN ID. I'm just using my information and the business information. Okay, so we're going to start here. So my last name, date of birth, address, I'm going to be using my state issued driver's license, but here are the other options that you can use. And then I have my driver's license number pulled up on my other screen. And then you're going to attach a copy of whichever ID that you did use. And then this is where we are going to submit the information. Now, before we go to submit, again, Empower to Profit is a partnership between Cheryl and I. We both have ownership in the business. So I'm going to go back to this screen and we're going to add another beneficial owner. Last name. Date of birth. Address. This will also be a driver's license. All right. Okay, what email do we want to use? Make sure they match. Good, good. I'm human. An animal jumping or flying. Oh my. That's fun. An animal jumping or flying. What's a new one? All right, and we are submitting. Submitting and waiting. And that's pretty much it. Easy as that. So after you do submit, it will give you like a confirmation page. Recommend always saving that, storing it somewhere in your Google Drive or print it off, store it however you do your organization in your business. Following that, you should be receiving an email just confirming everything. If you did make a mistake, you can simply log back in and make an amendment to what you did submit. But yeah, easy peasy. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask those below or send us a DM through our socials. I have like a little diagram that kind of walks you through if you do need to submit one for your business or not. So let us know in the comments. Comment BOI if you want to go ahead and we will send that PDF to you. But yeah, that's it. As always, cheers to profit.